Hey, what's up you guys? I'm back with another challenge, and this time I'll be attempting to beat the game using the first weapon I used the first time I played Elden Ring. So this one's a little close to my heart. This was filmed a couple of months ago, so the DLC wasn't out yet. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Niall, and you can watch me stream Elden Ring challenges like this one live on Twitch. Link in the description down below. If you have any suggestions on what challenges I could try out, or if you'd like to see me use this weapon in the DLC, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Choosing the samurai class, I shove the door open and go into battle with the Grafted Scion, giving him the attention he wants for once. I slash at him a couple of times, dealing quite a chunk of damage, but he gives me a loud screech, bursting my eardrums till I faint. Time for the real adventure to begin. As per usual, there's no adventure without Torrent, so I go get bequeathed. Then I head straight for this knight sitting on his horse, trying to kill him for his weapon. I give him and his horse a couple of slashes till he goes down, sitting at the grace to do it again, and on my second time I discover that the fight is much easier if I'm also mounted, so I stick to that method. Now the weapon has a 4% drop chance, so after killing him a couple of times and only getting his trousers and helm, I change course of action, running straight ahead, avoiding the knight scav and grabbing the gold pickled foul foot, which boosts rune acquisition by 30% for 3 minutes. Right past that, I take my chances at killing 2 more knights, one mounted and one not, but still no drop, so I march on. I find another mounted knight and it turns into a game of sword swipes. I come to the realization that horse combat might not be my thing, since I find it hard to control Torrent and slash at the enemy at the same time. But he goes down. On the bright side, this farming is at least giving me runes to be used later. The thing that's taking the most time is the mounted combat, like 2 headless chickens chasing each other. My discovery is 109, so the drop rate is meant to be a little better than 4%, but unfortunately the enemy pool is so small, so it's just a matter of doing it over and over again. After 10 minutes and still no drop, I head to round table to continue the setup. Running right up to the knight scav to tease him a little, he chases me off the side of the cliff, hopping up this spirit spring to do some grave robbing. Spending 3 minutes slashing at the dragon rewards me with her runes, sitting at the grace to level up, focusing mainly on vigor, dex, and strength. Next I sneak into Fort Farad, grabbing half of the dex medallion and Radahn sword seal for the +5 boost to some of my stats. Then up this spirit spring to this meetup gone wrong, to grab some smithing stones for later. Then it's back to slashing at these guys, this time dealing much more damage, and since I'm now a bit more buff, the fights go much quicker. Finally, on my second big guy kill, I'm rewarded with the Dismounter. Equipping it and heading immediately to Stormgate. Look at this badass. Since this weapon scales with strength and dex, I'll be mostly focusing on these stats for this build. Heading to speak to Rodrigo at the Stormhold Shack, grabbing the Strength Not Crystal tier, which temporarily boosts my strength for 3 minutes. I pay my toll, grabbing the Green Turtle Tally, which raises stamina recovery speed by 17%. Then I go meet Kenneth. This time, rather than kicking him off, I give him a few slashes, hoping the weapon would shove him back. Unfortunately, he jumps away, which allows him to heal, charging at me with a few more swings. Just like his fort, he is no more. With a non-upgraded weapon, I decide to test my skills on Margit. The weapon is strong, and each swing takes a chunk out of his health bar, so as long as I dodge his attacks, I should be fine. Now this was one of the first few times where I was using a close quarter build, since I normally prefer long range builds, so staying up close and dodging his attack is not my usual style. I kept slashing at him, and with no flasks left, I was faced with the possibility of death. And yeah, I was right. But what was that attack? I have his moves pretty much down to a T, but that double slash got me. Going back in, confident that I would defeat him this time around, it was just a matter of getting my timings down, plus dodging correctly from below, swinging my sword at him, dodging away from his pounces, swinging my sword at him, dodging away from his pounce attacks, and managing to get some charge attacks in. With him on his last legs, I go in for a wide swipe, getting a stagger in at the last second, and down he goes. Returning to round table, upgrading the weapon, and turns out I need one more stone to upgrade it further. So let's head to the Church of Ella to meet Ranni, where I grab the last stone from this anvil. On the way to the first Remembrance boss, I grab some smithing stones. So now it's time to fight Godrick. This weapon deals quite a bit of damage, and I keep leaping at his face to try getting a stagger in, dodging most of his attacks and getting him into phase 2. This time, sticking right below him to avoid his fire-breathing dragon arm, and I finally get that stagger. He didn't seem too happy about that. I dodge away, then move back in, trying to stun lock him with my slashes. Running away from the fire once again, rushing back in with a mighty swing. Godrick has been defeated. Look how happy I am. Purchasing some smithing stones from this merchant and going back to round table to continue upgrading the weapon. Snatching the academy key from behind this sleeping dragon and passing through the academy, pushing open this huge door as these boyos try to whack some knowledge into me. Time for Big Red. I swing at him and with 3 swipes of my sword, he's already at half health. This should be easy. I dodge his mouth and his magic, and with a few more swipes, the red wolf goes howling into the night. Boy, do I love the reach of this weapon. Running up this broken wall to pick up the glintstone web blade, which will allow me to add certain infusions to the weapon. So I head back to round table to add the cold infusion to the weapon, allowing for frost buildup. However, it does do split damage between magic and physical. Speaking to Raya to begin her quest, then heading to the boil prawn shack, killing the NPC and retrieving her necklace. Sneaking around in the Mistwood ruins to get past this sleeping bear, I grab the axe tally from this chest, which enhances the damage from charge attacks. So I equip it instead of the Radahn sword seal. Sadly, this does reduce some of my overall damage. Heading into Fort Height and straight up this ladder, with this boy hot on my tail. I grab the second half of the Dexter's medallion and knocking the knight off the platform, waiting as he falls to his death, giving me the bloody slash ash of war. I lead this wyvern ever so slowly to the statue, which he breaks without hesitation, and quickly goes back to his nest, leaving me with some smithing stone 5s. Then I head into this toxic pit, doing a little misstep and getting rotted, so I sprint my way into the fight with the clean rot knights, having already taken some damage. Going in for the attack, and the frostbite is considerable, stun locking the spear knight, and they go down quickly, leaving me to deal with the puker, slashing at them and getting a stagger in. But oddly enough, they were healing slowly, so for some reason I kept slashing till they fell. I followed them to their grave because the rot caught up to me. If anyone knows why they were healing, let me know in the comment section down below. 14k runes down the drain, because I didn't feel like doing that run through the rot again. But at least I still got the gold scarab, which will increase my rune acquisition by 20%. Next I head into Raya Lucaria Crystal Tunnel, grabbing somber stones and smithing stones as I run through, killing miners, mages and puppets, all in a day's work. Time to deal with the Crystallian who loves to spin around, which is very annoying, but it's quite an easy fight, especially with this stagger machine that just depletes its health. I am relentless with my slashes as it tries to throw its rings at me and quickly crumbles. Heading back to Limgrave to fight some more mounted knights. This time I'm able to take them down in a matter of seconds, trying to get another dismounter to add bleed to it so that I can switch between the two, frost procking with one and bleeding with the other. This time getting it super fast. Heading back to round table to add the bloody slash ash of war to it, I equip the 2 swords. I head to deal with Rennala, and on her first drop, I hit her till she was at less than half health. Since I was power stancing, the stamina drain was considerably higher, which potentially reduced the amount of damage that I was able to dish out. So up she goes again. I mute some singers, and on her second drop, I slice her into phase 2, getting hit by her missiles a couple of times, but between attacks, I play aggressively and lock in for some more damage. Sadly, she spams her magic quite a bit, so I waste time running around, especially when her summons come out to play. With the dragon even stomping on my head and her wolves headbutting me, at least they nudged me closer to her. This battle helped me figure out that I needed to up my endurance, especially if I wanted to keep power stancing. As she summons the dragon once more, I saw an opening and sprinted right up to her, and with a couple of mighty slashes, she goes down. What a backdrop. Heading back to Raya, I finally return her necklace, and she gives me an invitation to Volcano Manner. So next, I head to Vike. I try a cheeky swipe at him as he spawns in, but his invulnerability had not worn off yet. Getting stuck in the swing animation, I'm forced into madness. Now I'm certainly doing the damage, but his spear has a longer reach than me, and his madness is maddening. Also, it seems that the swords are not fast enough to keep constantly stun locking him, and he is light enough to dodge my attacks. But as I keep charging at him and slashing, he goes down. There we go. Way too much work. Using the Grand Lift, I make my way across Atlas Plateau, past the Lux Ruins, and into the battle with Gillica. Didn't stand a chance against me as I hacked her to bits. Staying right beneath her huge limbs, she goes down without ever fighting back, grabbing the Ritual Sword tally, which raises attack power by 10% when I'm at full health. Next, I take Raya's hand and get transported into Volcano Manor, then back to Vara, receiving a festering bloody finger. Yummy. I get jump scared by the Night Scav as I touch Disgrace, and let's run towards the Right Blood runes to fight Magnus. Now, considering he's a human type enemy, this should be interesting, as they are far more aggressive than some other bosses. Before I'm able to get a single swing in, I'm almost annihilated. I guess Magnus is not having a good day. Realizing that his attacks land faster than mine, so I need to not give him time to strike. But with no healing flasks left, I die. I go in again, this time more aware of the timings I need to dodge. Getting a stagger in, a frost proc, and swinging at him till he is vanquished. So now I try my hand at killing the Falling Star Beast, since I know it has some good drops. But again, its attacks are too fast compared to my slow slashing weapons. Removing one of the blades, since I don't think that the beast can be bled anyways, I mean, it's a big pile of rocks, so who knows. With one sword, I seem to be doing much better. And when it starts summoning rocks, I call in Torrent for that extra speed. It's down to half health, and it doesn't look too happy as it charges at me, eating rocks at my face, leaping at it for some more damage. I get whipped away by its tail, bringing this fight to an end. So I try again, for some reason, failing to dodge every attack. So I do what any good warrior would, I flee, grabbing the bell bearing from the sealed tunnel and heading back to the Falling Star Beast. This time, dodging most of the attacks and getting a lot of damage in. He pulls me in for a smooch, but I reject him, getting back on my feet, luring it out of the crater for some level ground, slashing at it, even though it's moving fast. At one point, it decides to go off for a walk, and when it comes back to me, I slash it down to nothing. Its drop made it worth it, as they are exactly what I needed. Now I go to the Sage's Cave, running around in the dark since I don't have a torch, and rolling past a few enemies. Dashing to this room to open a chest which has the Raptor's Black Feathers chest piece. This armor piece will make my jump attacks 10% stronger. I equip it before heading to deal with the Necromancer Garrus to test out the new equipment. And with a few slashes, the Necromancer joins his friends. With both weapons now at plus 13, I go to test them out on the Putrid Avatar. Now my damage is good, but I still feel like it's a bit slow, so I go back to wielding just one. I get a frost proc and continue slashing at him, even getting a stagger, another frost proc and a few more slashes, and it goes down. Going down this elevator, in the depths of Siofra River, up this elevator, dodging this grab, I run all the way up this hill and go up this elevator, into the deep Siofra well, dodging the magic arrows to get to the Knight of the Great Jar. I summon his first warrior from the depths below, and immediately slash at him, getting some early hits in. He retaliates and I back up to heal, going back in for some more hits. Time for the second one. This one receives a frost proc and a swift death. Now for the last one, and just from his image, I can tell that he's going to be a pain. He's a mage, so he launches missiles at me, which I dodge as I go in for more hits. His jump attacks are painful, but I should be able to deal with him, right? Right? I back up. As he summons his daggers, I back up again. One final leap, and he goes down. As a reward, I get the Great Jar Arsenal. This tally raises my maximum equip load by 19%. Time to deal with Radahn. Staying below him, I slash at his feet, getting a frost proc in, then swiftly running away to heal. He comes charging at me, and I dodge, going right back beneath him for a few more slashes, right as he slams at the ground, and I take the full hit. Ouch. Falling back to heal once more, one of his swipes kills Torrent, and almost takes me out in the process, but I bounce back on my feet, and I run away to heal as he launches into the sky. I figured out that the best timing for an attack was right after leaping above the wave attack. Leaping towards him leaves him open for a couple of extra slashes. After another wave, I go in for the kill. I get one slash in, but miss my second one, so I back away. He's a hit away from death. With one final wave, I leap my way to victory, swinging my sword down on him one last time. Time to deal with DTS. I sneak up behind, charge up my attack, and get a stagger, but I end up knocking him out of it with my next slash. So I try dodging out of range of his flame attacks. Wait, why am I so slow? Oh, I'm in medium load. Damn, I'm not used to this. Okay, well, I tried. Let's try that again. Another stagger, and more successful dodges this time. Never mind. Try to go in for an attack at the wrong time there. Third time's the charm, another stagger, a few good strikes, and I can pretty much only get one hit in at a time before he attacks. which is annoying, but it's something at least. Time for phase 2. I dodge his lightning and slash at him when I get the opportunity. His moves are mostly consistent though, so I know when and how to dodge most of the time. If he would only give me a chance to hit him, that would be great. And finally, as he's charging his attack, I see my golden opportunity. I swipe at him, getting a frost proc, following it up with one more slash, and he goes down. Time to fight this avatar in the capital. Going into it thinking it should be an easy dub, but getting that taunt instantly smacked out of my head. With a frost proc, it looks a little better, but with another slam and some magic, I died. Cockiness is the death of me, or the magic, whatever. I go back into it, getting a frost in and dodging the magic. Going behind it, I swipe at it some more, dodging some more magic and hacking at it. Emerging victorious. Running around the capital, heading up this tree, I enter to fight the golden boy, Godfrey. He is so painful and he can't be statused, so my frost or bleed are useless here. His flurry of attacks and me sometimes mistiming my dodges, since I'm still medium loaded, makes this fight much longer. But when I finally get the hang of it, all it takes is a few swipes of my sword and he goes down. Margit is up next, and I figured out the only way to deal with him is to bait out certain attacks. This is easier said than done, and he doesn't want to cooperate. So I get a frost proc, but his attacks hit like a truck. I bring him down to a bit less than half health before he kills me. I go back to round table to see if I can get any more upgrades, but sadly there isn't a get good upgrade. I play around with my armor and tallies so that I'm light loaded, which is more my wheelhouse. Switching out the physics since there is no way I'll get in any charge attacks. Switching to the stone barb crack tier, which will deal 30% more stance damage. This time I can dodge much better, and I'm dealing quite a bit more damage. But I dodge right into his sword and die once again. 4th round, and I managed to bait the attack I wanted, and I go in for a quick swipe. I could have definitely hit him twice there, but I'm so cautious now that I'm holding back. Time to play it slow and safe, so I stay far and let him vent, slashing at him if he comes too close. He does that jump again, and this time I get in a good double slash. Time for phase 2. I hold back, trying to study his moves to find the perfect opening. It's a slow fight and he's at a quarter health, and then I miss a roll. Pause. Let's head to this mine for some smithing 5s to upgrade my weapon a little bit more. I push at this door and come face to face with a Crystallian duo. The ring blade one spins at me in his little dance, but I give him one firm whack and stagger him, dealing a huge amount of damage, so I focus on him till he shatters. Next I face the spear Crystallian, who tries to jab at me several times, till I'm able to get that stagger in. Then, with a couple more hits, he also shatters, giving me the Somberstone Miner's Bell Bearing 2, picking up one final smithing 5, which was casually just laying in the middle of nowhere. I head back to a round table and I'm able to level up my weapon 3 times. Climbing up this ladder to the top of the Tower of Return, I open this chest and get sucked in. Teleporting back to Lanedale, rushing past the sleeping golem, I open this chest for the Blessed Dew tally for that passive healing, so I switch it out with the Ritual Sword tally. Heading back to Margit, he gets a few hits in the second I enter, but then it's a matter of staying well away to bait his jump attack. I get a stagger in, and he phase transitions. Another jump, and I get a slash. He stabs me, throwing me to the ground. Backing up to heal, he takes the opportunity to charge at me, ending that once again. Pause. Again. I head to Stormvale Castle, walk across some rooftops as a bird swings at me, since I'm trespassing in its territory. Then I try to climb this tower, giving that archer some moving target practice. Picking up the tally from this corpse, which increases jump attacks by 15%. Heading back in, I do some damage testing, without and with the tally, and yeah, it's definitely much better with it. My timing on him still isn't perfect, but it's definitely gotten better, and after a couple more failed attempts, I lock in. He stabs me, lifting me up into the air, and I think I'm done for, but I easily dodge his follow-up. I attack, and I go in for the kill, and with a bleed, he's finally down, granting me the remembrance of the Omen King. Look at my face, I was so happy. In the Zamar ruins, I lift this rusty door and open the chest for the smithing stone bell-bearing tree. Heading in to Volcano Manner, I head to Ghost Loretta. Jumping at her, swinging my sword, she tries to get some payback in, but I tank the damage. Barely a scratch on me. I slash and she's down within seconds. Heading to Ranni's Rise, speaking to Ranni, then I speak to Selvis and EG and get tasked with heading to Nokron. So off I go into the Eternal City. Avoiding the archers and the slime, I jump down and land on my tippy toes, a centimeter away from death. Time to fight this handsome guy. I seem to be an expert at dodging my own attacks, but I get a few solid bleed hits, and with a good slash to the throat, the world is left with only one me. I go around lighting some pillars. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and finally this one. Touching this deer carcass, it's time to get the next remembrance. The Regal Ancestor Spirit. With my level 20 weapon, the fight was not hard. It is, however, annoying that it dies and teleports as soon as I start getting some hits in. But I hit hard and the spirit is down. I return to Ranni and progress her quest. Next, I stumble upon the Earthtree Avatar, and even though I don't need to kill it for this run, I decide to fight it for the fun of it. And considering my level and the strength of my weapons, the fight should go smoothly. I dodge an attack, get stuck in a wall, and though I can't hit it because I can't see anything past these leaves, it can see me and it kills me. So I leave it be. Heading to the Carrion study hall, placing the sand timer down, causing an earthquake, and now everything's upside down. Picking up the curse mark of death, leading me to Renna's Rise, teleporting to Ainsel River, running around Nostella, going down some lifts, and running across a lake of rot. Healing a disgrace, and then it's time to jump into this casket. Time to fight Estelle. This creepy, painful bugger hits like a truck, but I get a bleed and a stagger, and I keep going at him as he starts to teleport all over the place, trying to get behind me for a grab. So I start sprinting as fast as my teeny little red legs can take me, emerging victorious with the remembrance of the natural born. I talk to Vare, who yoinks my finger, going into the second church of Marika, getting invaded by Eleonora, who quickly crumbles before me, rewarding me with the purifying crystal tear. Running across the mountaintops of the giants, whacking at this sleeping golem to get his attention, then hiding behind this statue, which I need to break. I think I might be a little too well hidden, since he lost aggro, and starts moonwalking away from me. So I run up to him till he follows me and whacks the statue, running across this chain to Flame Peak. I fight the bloody finger Okina, and it's bleed against bleed, but he is easily vanquished, picking up the ancient dragon smithing stone from inside the skull. Then it's time to turn up the heat with the fire giant. Going into it, I knew that this fight was going to be brutal. My slashes were not doing a lot of damage, but at least he was bleeding. I kept slashing at his ankle, tearing at his Achilles, but he kept trying to scooch away from me. Stay still, man! Bleeding him into phase 2, I somehow spawn on my back at a quarter of my health and without torrent. He slams his hand down and I give it a good swing, rolling towards him and getting caught in his flames. I switch off my tallies, equipping my claw tally, then heading back in. He rolls away from my attacks, but I always manage to get back under him to slash at his feet. When he kneels down for an attack, he gives me the best opportunity to get some major hits in. Second phase, and I run away to avoid his meteor shower. When the rain of fire disappears, I run behind his legs, getting a solid slash, then run back under him for some more damage, but he goes into fetal position and rolls off. That's fine by me, since he goes back to kneeling each time. So I get a few hits in, over and over. Progress is slow, but steady. The damage is barely visible, till I get another bleed, mouth wide open. He tries puking fire at me, and I sprint away, and the giant rolls over both of us. I run in to slash and chase him as he rolls away. I'm relentless. Still, with one final slash, the legend is felled, and I get his remembrance. Heading into the crumbling farm Missoula, I dodge all sorts of enemies as I make my way down to face the Godskin duo, immediately tossing a sleeping pot at them. It perfectly lands between them, sending them both to sleep. Focusing on the Godskin noble first, I slash at him, dropping him to half health. He launches up into the air and I roll right underneath him, getting squished. Slashing at him within the ring of fire he surrounds us with, and he goes down. I heal up before going to face Tallboy, hitting him immediately with a jump attack, and he comes back down to his death. Big boy comes back and I immediately lob another sleeping pot at him, splashing his face. He falls asleep and I leap in. I slash him, getting a stagger, and with another jump attack, he's down. Tall boy spawns behind me and he jumps just as I throw the pot, so I miss. Guess I have to deal with him while he's awake. No problemo. A couple of quick swipes is all it takes for the great enemy to be felled. Heading back to the Eternal City, then jump to the Siofra Aqueduct to deal with the Valiant Gargoyles. With the Dismounter being a plus 25, the damage I was doing was monumental. With a quarter of his health left, I keep my focus on the first one, definitely don't want to deal with both of them at once. Going for the kill. The first one goes down. Now I can deal with you, buddy boy. 6 spear moves, my guy. He lands, I slash, he spits out poison, and I run away. At one point, he even glitched out and froze a bit. Should have taken the opportunity for some cheesy damage, but I hold back and attack when I know I can get away with it. The fight was over quickly, probably the best I've ever done with them so far. Hopping into another casket, I'm taken to the Deep Root Depths. Running up this big tree, I reach Fia's champions. The first one stands no chance, and with 3 quick slashes, the champion becomes the loser. Sorcerer Rogier is up next, and once again, with a few slashes on my blade, he goes down. The last part of this fight is a gank squad. Lionel the Lionhearted gets a good hit on me, but as I run around the field, I manage to split them up. One of the champions goes down with 2 hits. A leap at the second champion has him falling to his knees. It's just me and the Lionhearted. We trade a few hits, but my damage is too much for him to handle, and he crumbles. Choosing to be held by Fia, and she whispers some sweet secrets into my ears. Speaking to her once more, then resting at the grace. I wake up to find her dead, and I enter her dream to fight the Lich Dragon Vortisax. I use my first attempt as a test to see how I'd fare in the fight. Results? Not so good. On my second attempt, he breathes fire on me, and I try my best to roll away from his other attacks, but I don't really know the moveset of this boss. So far, I've had to heal twice, but his health bar is still intact. Finally, I get 2 hits in, and he gets his revenge by striking at me again. I stick close to his leg and swing at him. Running away from these dead clouds, he flies into the sky, summoning his lightning spear and bringing it down onto my head. I'm back below him, and just like the fire giant, it's all about sticking close to his toes and striking at Achilles. Rolling away from his lightning, then rolling back in to carve my name into his leg. His health bar dwindles to nothing, and he's fell with a bleed. Returning to Fia, I pick up the Mending Rune of the Death Prince from her body. Heading to Mohgwyn's palace, running around in the dark, and up this lift. It's time to face off against Mohg. Once again, I need to learn his timings from up close. I do small leaps at him when I get the chance, and bring him down to half health. He heals, but I keep swinging. He sprouts his wings, flies up, then spears me. I go in again. My reach is great for this fight. I don't have to stay too close to him, but my damage isn't the best. He's also a very aggressive boss, and with every slight mistiming, my health takes a massive hit. But I brought him down to a quarter of his health again, and he drains my life to heal himself. I step back to heal, but I definitely did not step back enough, putting the fight on hold, heading to Round Table to upgrade my Cold Dismounter to plus 25. Comparing the stats, the Bleed Dismounter does more physical damage, but the Cold Dismounter has overall more damage. Going into Castle Sol, I go fight Commander Niall, since he should be easier to deal with. With my Cold Dismounter equipped, I slash at his Ghost Knights, and they go down. I jump backwards to get the second one to come at me, and it takes the bait, leaping at me. Big mistake. Turning to face the commander, he starts doing some cool Weatherman tricks and lightning kicks, hitting me last second with one of them, but I get my own hits in. I back up to heal, miss a dodge, and retreat once more. He does a charge attack, and I go in with a heavy blow as he is regaining his energy. He gets up and spins at me, but I get a second stagger in. A couple of hacks at him, I dodge, but then I get frostbite. I keep going back at him as he walks around me. Then he lands another lightning kick at me, and I'm down. Absolutely don't know how that managed to one-shot me with that kick. I switch back to the Bleed Dismounter and head back in. He summons his friends back in, and the first one goes down easily. The second one leaps at me, and I get a jump attack in before he stabs me. Moving back to get him away from the commander and slash him down as he's running at me. Back to just you and me, buddy. Let's avoid your cold cloud and your lightning kick. Good, not so good. How does he have such good kicks on him? I head back in, but both knights quickly jump at me, and I'm skewered like a kebab. On my 6th attempt, I get frostbite from the ghosts. I kill them and zero in on Niall. I switch back to the cold Dismounter since that seemed to have worked much better before. He's on his knees and I slash at him. He is frosted and I can carry on running around the arena, try staying out of his range so that if he were to try kick me, I'd see it coming. He gets another frostbite in and I slash at him feeling greedy, but then I quickly back away to heal when he lands a mean blow. He begins to walk towards me and I take a leap of faith at his face, and Niall joins the Feld. Feeling the spark of hope, I play around with my armor and I discover that I can now dual wield without it. Most of the time, even with armor, I can be one-shotted. So why not try running around with just swords? Heading to Ordina, I enter into the Evergol, light up this statue, climb up some ladders, lighting this one, some parkour, and being light loaded is good and all, but these arrows are going to be a pain, literally. Alright, let's try this again. Do these archers have some sort of homing arrows or something? Jeez. I bob and weave the shots. Then I'm on them. I slash them into nothing, back to no armor, lighting this statue, and this one up here. Big 3! Avoiding ants and getting lit up by some orbs, getting scarlet rot, but still making to the grace. Yoinking the ancient smithing stone from right in front of these dudes. Time to deal with real Loretta. And this time, she can be sated. She throws her magic daggers at me and tries to leap at me, but I easily dodge her attacks, and I leap at her with my own, getting some massive damage in. Her horse does kick me in the face. At half her health, her attacks start becoming more frantic, and I need to dodge some more. I only manage to land one attack each time between her flurry of blows, but I keep at it, dodging, leaping, and slashing till she is eliminated for good. Jumping through the scarlet rot, then from branch to branch, running on some rooftops and falling onto this beam. I jump onto these web slingers, eliminating them. Grabbing the Dragon Rest Great Shield tally. The tally enormously reduces the amount of physical damage taken by 20%. Time for the dreaded Malenia fight. Light loaded means that I can dodge her more often than not, which is essential since she is very aggressive. Between her attacks, I try to get some hits in, even getting some frost damage in. On her big attacks, I push her when she stalls, getting some more frost in. I was ecstatic when I got her down to the second phase. Waiting for her to come out of her Aeonia, I leap in for a hit, then run away when she starts summoning her clones. She summons her Aeonia again, getting backed into a corner by her clones, but luckily, none of them come too close. So I charge at her, then sprint away, terrified of her flurry. As soon as she pauses, I strike at her with full force, and Malenia is destroyed on the first try. On a high from that battle, I go to Volcano Manor, jump across some rooftops, pause the lava, and sneak around the man serpent up this lift, opening the shortcut, throwing a sleep bot at him, and he stabs me as he goes down for his nap. Then go at him full force with both my swords, getting a stagger in and a few more slashes. He's dead. Feeling invincible, I had to face the god-devouring serpent. Getting trapped beneath his hand for a second, he kept scooting back and I had to keep following him further into the lava, burning my feet in the process. I hacked and slashed, my damage seemed low, but my swings were effective. He's down, and time for Rykard to come out to play, jumping and slashing at his weird leg. What is it with this game and feet? Then he attacks and I flee. It's raining Ghost Rider skulls and I run straight into this pillar. He jumps, splashing lava at me, but I don't let that stop me. I even managed to frost the lava serpent. Don't ask me how that works. He jumps again and I'm on the brink of death as he summons more skulls. I go in trying to get this fight over and done with as I slash at him wildly. And with a few more mighty swings, Rykard is conquered. Heading to High Road Cave, I jump down a few ledges and wake up the sleeping golem. Hacking his foot 3 times, he goes back into eternal slumber, rewarding me with the blue dancer tally. This raises the physical damage I'm able to deal the lower my equip load is. I head to Mohg, this time in the nude. He swishes his trident, landing a couple of hits, then I back away to study his moves and his timing, leaping in for some attacks when I sense the opportunity. At half health, he starts draining my life force to heal, but I slash at him, even getting a frost in, and he slashes at me, knocking me down. Thought I died there, but nope, I'm still here, boyo. We circle each other, then he closes at me and leaps on me when I'm down. Overkill. Between attempts, as I'm trying to stay hydrated, my character decides that I don't want to fight Mohg and runs towards the screen for help, falling off the ledge, and I decide to give him a break. Heading to Storm Hill, I kill this beetle, which drops the wild strike Ash of War, so I go to round table and put onto my blood dismounter. Do you think it will make him bleed? So I head back in to face him. How did I manage to beat Melania first try and I'm having such trouble with you?
3 days later.
I'm back. I slice at him, and this time he seems to be the one backing away from my vicious strikes, and slash, getting in a stagger and a bleed proc from one attack, and look at his health vanishing. He begins trying to phase change, but I swing wildly as he tries to heal, so he does not get much. He throws fire, claws at me. Mohg the demigod was finally gone. Next boss is Placi, so I take a nap on this ledge and I spawn in this arena, striking at its tail with my blade, getting a bleed, and he flies off into the sky, swooping down at me with his electric strikes, but I dodge just in time, trying to go back to his tail, dodging some thunder strikes, but then I'm cornered and I turn to smoke. So back down the precarious ledge, trying not to die before I even get to him, slashing at his tail as he tries to whip me with it. I get hit with his fire breath, but I get back up and go back to slicing at him, getting a stagger in, so I go to stab him in the eye, slashing, getting a bleed, and he flies up, dodging as he blinks in and out of reality. Then he breathes his fire, and since I'm too far, he blinks in closer to me. I dodge some more lightning strikes, then he knocks me down with his wing. I heal, dodge his AoE, but not his flame breath. But I get a few more hits on his tail. Time for him to fly away again, and swoosh, and blink. Some electricity, don't mind me buddy. I slice and slice, he flies off. I lost him in the sky, so I was sure I was dead, but I dodged in the perfect moment. Then it's time for some flame lasers, so I sprint away from the light show. He blinks closer to me, and with one final swoosh and bleed, Placi is defeated. Dawn's Break. Time for the Beast Clergyman. This was a fight that I was so unsure about since I'm not used to being within melee range for him, but with a few well-timed dodges and strikes, he goes down to half health. Phase 2 brings out the real fight. I immediately run away to stay out of his range, getting a hit in when he pauses, but he manages to pounce on me. He gets another hit and he flies up in the air, but this time I dodge in time. I try to lock him behind pillars as much as I can, so I have a safety net to heal, but when he's done flailing around, I attack. I get a bleed in and he has a sliver of health left. Tanking his attack, I run up to him for one more hit. The black blade becomes nothing but a remembrance. Heading up this lift and I come face to face with Gideon. TKO! Would have been even quicker if he didn't heal twice, but I'll take it. Up this tree and up these steps, I face Godfrey, missing a few dodges, but getting a couple good swings in, a stagger, and it's time for phase 2. He runs at me, trying to grab me for a lovely hug, but I roll away. He starts showing off some judo moves and smashing at the ground. He goes in for another hug and I miss my dodge, so he gives me uppies, then slams me down. I dodge some more tantrum ground smashing, striking him when I can, but he slashes at me and I go down. All in all, that was a great first attempt. I put on my raptor's feathers for some protection and head back in. Some well-timed dodges and strikes, a bleed, and punishing his charge attacks. So far so good. Down to phase 2, and his kicks and fists are the only weapon he needs. He pulls me in for a hug and I'm on my last legs. I pull back for a heal and dodge some more attacks, except his screams, which always knocks me down. Then he comes swiping at me with his hands like I'm a dating app. I pause, heading to Stormveil Cost to grab an iron web blade to add different infusions. Sadly, I don't have enough stoneware keys, so I have to go purchase some from the round table. Hop into this fog, kill the sleeping ghouls, who come to life as soon as I walk in, then grab it from behind them. Teleporting back to round table, using wild strikes, I turn the blood dismounter into a quality dismounter. Time to test it out. Damage wise, I feel like I'm doing much better. Dodging wise, I'm getting there, but I stick close to him and hack and slash till he does his ground pound. Then I back off but go right back to him when he's done. Phase 2 and I go in for some leap attacks. He slashes at me and I run off to heal. His stomps are annoying, but staying further away makes it much easier to dodge. Except when I roll right into his arms for a hug. He's hanging by a thread and I shouldn't be playing it risky, so I don't know what happened there. But he gives me one final kick and I swing my sword one final time and he goes down. The first Elden lore becomes nothing but a remembrance in my pocket. The only thing standing between me and beating this challenge run was the final boss, Radabeast. A few good hits on him before he lands a single blow on me. I even get a frost proc on him. I get a stagger and he falls to the ground. I wanted to be greedy and go in for some more swipes, but I played it safe move and healed instead. Smart move, but it still was not enough to save me from him hitting the ground. But I was still super happy with that attempt. Third attempt seemed to start on the wrong foot. I was missing my dodges and playing recklessly, going in for hits instead of dodging. It wasn't looking good, and with a frost, he crumbled. Time for the Elden Beast. A few solid hits and its health bar was crumbling. I dodged his attacks, then going in for my own. Dodging his meteors, his magic swipes, I leap and he flees. Then I run back underneath him for some quick swipes. I swing, slash, and finally, the Elden Beast turns to nothing. I stand solely victorious, surrounded by particles of him as he fades away. Totally not dead inside. Fia's ending sees Big sitting upon the throne, his future as bright as ever. Should have probably worn some pants for this big buddy. So there you have it. This is how I beat the game using Dismounter, the first weapon I ever played the game with. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. I love hearing your feedback in the comment section down below. You can catch me live on Twitch, link in the description, and I'll see you all in the next one. Doodles. YouTube's recommending this video now, so be sure to check that out.